You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Coming up, the Joplin Police Department celebrates the retirement of 3 of its officers, including a K-9 member.
Also, a simple text message can make the difference for families wanting to make sure their children receive full flu vaccinations.
And if you are starting your day, those 2 ramps highlighted in white, that's at I-49, I-44 junction south of Carthage. They are closed starting today, and it's going to be another hot one. We'll break it all down in the Skywatch Weather Center.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. We've got breaking news this morning as fire crews respond to an early morning house fire in Neosho. Happened about 5:15 in Neosho. Neosho police and Newton County ambulance responded to a house fire at 712 West Spring Street in Neosho. Authorities say no residents were injured and everyone was able to get out safely. You can read more about this story and actually see the video on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Again, this is a breaking story. We do have video in-house. We will try to get that to you before the end of the show. Joplin Police Department is asking for public help trying to solve a 30-year-old missing person case. Tracy Pickett was reported missing August 12, 1992. The bottom right picture is a rendition of what she may look like now. The then 14-year-old was spending the night at a friend's house in Webb City. On the next morning, another guest at the sleepover offered to take her home in Joplin. That guest says he dropped Stacy off safely near a pawn shop, but she was never heard from again. Police are once again asking the public for information about the case. 3 members of the JPD were honored as their careers come to an end. Officer Randy Black and Dustin Holt have both served 20 years on the force and are now retiring. Friday was also the last day on the job for K-9 Fighter, who had been assigned to Officer Black and will join him in retirement. Fighter has been with the JPD since 2016 and helped capture 35 suspects during his career. Local hospital shows its appreciation for first responders. Cox Monette Hospital hosted Salute to First Responders. The annual event offered those on the front lines a free barbecue lunch, including a burger and a chicken sandwich, potato salad, baked beans, chips, a cookie, and a drink. Organizers say it's a way to say thanks to our hometown heroes.
We're trying to show our appreciation for our first responders. They're a big part of what we do. We interact with them every day in multiple different situations. So it could be our firefighters, our EMS, our local law enforcement, sheriff's departments. All of them eventually end up in our emergency department in particular. And that's where we interact with them the most.
This is the 7th year the hospital has hosted the lunch. McDonald County Community Backpack Adventure begins as the new year kicks off. Multiple businesses in McDonald County have gathered around to make sure students have all they need for the next school year by donating funds for 400 school bags and supplies. School district officials say this project will make kids feel included.
I'm just very grateful. I mean, I don't think that you can talk enough about how important it is for a kid to feel included. And when they come in and don't have supplies and don't have the things that they need, I'm glad to work with MC for Kids to help those kids have those things and feel like they're a part of our district.
Organizers bought $8,000 worth of school supplies. Coming up a little later in the show, our own Shagun Bomadelli unpacks this story for us. Well, if you have a favorite way to relax Monday might be the perfect way to do it. It is National Relaxation Day, the annual day to focus on yourself. Whether work, family, or other commitments are keeping your lives busy, take some time away, and that's key to reducing stress. Many of us have a favorite activity to de-stress, but this day might be the chance to try something new. Turns out National Relaxation Day was not the brainchild of an adult, but of someone much younger. The idea for the day is credited to 4th grader Sean Moeller back in 1985. Now, Moeller told an interviewer that people should not do anything of real value for the day.
You know what? I think you're absolutely right. Monday is the perfect day to relax.
Don't sit still, you'll fall asleep.
This is a really good spot. This is a really good chair to enjoy National Relaxation Day. You don't have to worry about falling asleep though. These lights right here are extraordinarily bright.
Speaking of things that happened on this particular day.
Yeah, speaking of this day in history, let's take this guy and send him back where he came from. Because on this day, back in 1946, St. Louis, which they just dealt with flooding, they were deluged with a record 8.78 inches of rain in just 24 hours. We also have a traffic alert for you today. I know I did a little too much relaxing. I'm a little off balance. I-44 westbound to I-49 northbound. That ramp is closed. If you're coming up, it's I-49 northbound to the westbound ramp on I-44, which is technically 59 as you're coming out of Diamond. Also closed. And that's going to be for the next 30 days. So we're talking this ramp right here and this one right here, both closed for the next 30 days as they do some extensions and widening projects on that. Zooming out considerably wider, it was a big zoom for this thing. You can see our low pressure system up in the Nebraska and South Dakota area. That's our next weather maker, and it'll eventually make its way down here later today and into tomorrow. Sun is coming up, obviously. There it is. It's telling you, stay in, relax, because it's 72 degrees. It's the perfect kind of weather to relax in. 70s, like I said, too much relaxing. 70s and upper 60s are where most of us are this morning. As we go through the day, it's still going to be another hot one as the temperatures push in the lower 100s, 98 by 5. Isolated storm chances this evening and isolated storm chances overnight as temperatures drop back into the 60s. We do have increasing clouds and a gusty east wind, and we also have increasing storm chances. And we'll talk about all of that here in just a little bit.
Well, up next, it's almost time for the return of Little Balkans Day, so we've got a live studio interview and a couple of super interesting guests.
And later, one of America's most revered memorials gets a new life in virtual reality. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, a simple text message reminder could help families stay safe during the flu season. In a new study published in the journal Pediatrics, parents who receive alerts to schedule second shots for young children who needed 2 doses of the flu vaccine were more likely to have their children fully vaccinated. An estimated 1.4 million children were sick with the flu during the 2019-2020 season. Researchers say more work needs to be done to roll out text message reminders on a large scale. Pregnancy complications increased during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that's according to researchers in Massachusetts. With healthcare disruptions during the first 14 months of the pandemic, doctors reported spikes in maternal deaths and cardiovascular disorders. The study authors say increased hygiene awareness like hand washing and masking likely helped contribute to a decline in sepsis rates for women giving birth. And as students return to the classrooms, a new poll finds nearly a third of parents worry about their child's safety going to and from school. University of Michigan survey shows more than a quarter of parents believe elementary and middle schoolers are more likely to get hurt in the drop-off area. Speeding, distracted driving, and children not staying on the sidewalks are just some of the issues fueling parents' concerns. We've all heard the excuse, the dog ate my homework. But what about the dog ate my lottery ticket? Oh, that's what officials at the Oregon Lottery heard this week. They received a letter with a torn up ticket and a picture of 2 dogs. Couple says they left the ticket out and the puppies got to it. They knew they wouldn't be able to get it checked. They thought it was hilarious and wanted to share the story. Turns out it was worth more than just a few laughs. They had an $8 winner on their hands.
Hey, $8, man, goes a long way. That's more than what I usually win. I tell you, I usually buy the $5 lottery tickets, and I swear I have bought every losing ticket in the 4 states. So how we do not have more millionaires around here is a mystery to me. Every place I go, I'll pick up a $5 lottery ticket, and it's 9 out of 10 times a losing ticket.
Why are you buying $5 lottery tickets?
It's a good round number.
Okay.
It's just a good round number for me. That's, I mean, in my opinion, it's a good round number. So, but yeah, no, when we were at the Ottawa County Fair on Thursday, I bought a $5 one down there, and it was a loser. I'll buy a $5 one at the Casey's in Columbus when I go for my lunch run. They're always losers. I mean, and I'll buy $5 tickets at Quick Trip or Come and Go at Joplin, and they're always losers. So somebody out there is bound to have hit $100,000 by now. I mean, just based on the fact that I've bought all the bad ones.
Okay.
Just saying. There's got to be some winners out there. So just, follow me around and watch me buy and buy the
each
same
time there's a
one.
new lottery, your chances go back to where they were. It's not like you're going to gradually get lucky.
No, I know. I just,
doesn't work
it
that
would
way.
be great just to maybe even double my investment, but it never happens. Never happens. It's all right, though. It's okay. It's all right. It's whatever.
I played when the Mega Millions is really high. I only play when my chances are at their ultimate worst. That's the only time I ever play.
When the jackpot's at its highest.
Yes.
That's how I am, though.
Because then I get excited and I'm like, oh, just maybe.
You never know. Somebody's got to win. You can't win if you don't play.
That's true.
That's very true. If you're driving this morning, watch out. South of Carthage. This ramp, both closed starting today. That's for the next 30 days because of road construction. As we zoom out, up to our northwest, we have our next weather maker. That's eventually going to make its way down here. I know it seems like it's a long ways away, but it's on its way. Right now, though, in Joplin, sunny skies. 72 is where we're at in that fair city, and we're all sitting in the 70s across the board today. A nice start to the day. It is going to get hot again, though. Temperatures soaring back into the lower 100s with some isolated storm chances later this evening. Continuing isolated storm chances through the overnight hours. And then we'll also see a very gusty wind, and a quick check of the 7-day forecast shows us where storm chances increase going into tomorrow. It'll still be hot, and then it cools down thanks to that rain, warms up a bit, and then more rain chances are on their way. And one last thing I want to show you, look at these overnight lows. Wednesday night, 59. So even though it's going to be hot, it's going to be pleasant overnight. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We've got a full studio this morning, and this is in advance of Little Balkans Day, which is coming up very soon. In fact, it's starting in a couple of weeks. So we spoke earlier a little bit about Little Balkans Days, but just a quick recap. When is it? Because you mentioned that it's a little different this year.
It is. August the 29th, we kick off on Monday with our first hands-on cooking school, and then we'll wrap up Sunday, September the 4th. So full week of events, tons of live music, train rides. Get your passports online on our website, or we have tons of vendors throughout town that you can pick those up at. We're still taking vendors for the craft show as well.
And of course, you mentioned the website, and you've also got a Facebook page as well where people can find out just about anything they need to know.
We do all of the events. We have individual events on our Facebook page, so you can check that out as well. Our website is fully updated, has a store where you can pay your vendor space rental. You can get passports, you can get carnival wristbands because we do have a carnival this year. Mostly geared for kids that are younger, in between Kiddieland because it'll be open and running, and some of the older rides, we have a few. But there'll be bounce houses, train rides for the kids, sponsored by Watco. So all of the information's online. You can check all of that out.
All right. And then we have a couple of additional special guests here this morning. Who have we got?
We do. We have Jerry, who was the 2019 Senior Queen from Little Balkans, and then Lynette Emerson with Medical Lodges in Fort Scott.
So tell me a little bit about how Jerry came to win. How does Jerry play into this? How did you win?
Yeah.
How did you win your title?
How did I do what?
How did you win your 2019 title?
I don't know.
I hear you sing. I hear you sing, and I hear you play the piano.
Yeah, I can't sing. I can't carry a tune.
Oh, yes, you can. We were singing.
Unless I'm singing with somebody.
Yeah, she
But I
sings.
can't sing alone.
Well, you do, but we have different contestants representing assisted living, nursing home, and then even those who are living at home alone or with their family can enter the contest. And Jerry did that a few years ago, the last time we had the contest. And she has been a tap dancer and also plays the piano, does different artwork. She just did this recently. And they sat in front of a panel of judges for
tap dance.
Yes. They interview, and then they go in front of the crowd there at Meadowbrook Mall, and judges review their talent competition. And you can tell Jerry's very fun and witty and full of talent. She used to do tap dancing as a child growing up in Denver. And so she's talked to me about that a lot.
Well, and that becomes our next question. I can actually come in a little closer. So, Jerry, how did you get into tap dancing? What inspired you to start tap dancing?
Well, I took lessons. My parents took me for lessons, and I learned to tap dance as a child.
And you're still doing it.
Oh yeah, I can still tap.
See,
I still do somersaults even.
You've got more talent than I've got. And then take a look at this art you've created. So what have you got right here? What is this that you've made?
Well, I like to do art. You know, I like to make. I didn't make this, but I like to do things like this, and you know, make my patterns, and as long as I got paper and Crayolas, I can draw and make different patterns and
We're going to show folks at home what you've got
make
here.
things like this.
And she's 95.
90? You don't look 95, Jerry.
Yeah, 95.
That's incredible. And then you've also got this that you made here as well.
Yeah, I made. Well, I did. I just glued that on, you know, and put the flowers in. But I like it.
I think it's very, very beautiful. I love that kind of art. So what would be your advice to those looking to win this year in the contest?
What did I do? What?
What would your advice be to those looking to win this year?
Would you just tell them to be themselves?
Do what?
If someone wants to win the contest, what would you tell them?
Yeah.
Just to be themselves.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, ladies, thank you all so much for coming in this morning. And, of course, more information online for Little Balkans Days. And we'll have the full interview and everything you need to know on our website as well at KOAMnewsnow.com.
Does he know I had 7 boys?
No.
She had 7 boys.
And
7 boys.
I've only got 2, so
And
I
one
had
girl.
7 boys and 1 girl.
only one girl.
Yeah, I finally had a girl, but I was a grandma. I was a grandma before I had her, and I got teased. Grandma had a baby. Grandma had a baby.
We're
But I finally got my girl.
We're looking for great candidates like Jerry, just to honor and have fun with them that day, Friday, September 2nd.
And it's free to enter.
Yes.
So, and they can either call the numbers on their website, they can email the website, and we'll get those over to Lynette and the committee, but they do a fantastic job in the mall. If nothing else, come down and support our area residents because they really go all out to make that a fun afternoon for them.
I believe that. Well, ladies, thank you again so much for joining us. We'll be back right after this.
It's time to honor today's 4-state hero, Sergeant Dick Anderson, the native of Pittsburgh, Kansas, served in Vietnam from 1967 to 1969 as part of the U.S. Naval Support Activity. This decorated veteran earned numerous awards, including 3 Navy Unit Commendation Medals. To Sergeant Dick Anderson, we thank you, today's 4-state hero.
Well, one of Washington, D.C.'s most solemn monuments, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, has a new life on the web.
Volunteers have created a virtual wall of faces, pictures of every service member who died in the conflict.
Jay Korf has the story.
So there's 58,281 men and women who are honored by the wall.
The overwhelming number of names that tumble by as you walk past the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington serve as a solemn reminder to the sacrifice so many made in service to the nation. For decades, the nonprofit that built the wall, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, has been creating on its website a virtual version of the memorial called the Wall of Faces.
We've been working for 21 years to find a photograph for everyone on the wall.
Tim Tates admits they never thought it possible to find a picture of everyone.
To have any chance at completing this monumental task, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund called on volunteers from across the country to help them find these pictures. Andrew Johnson stepped forward for a very personal reason.
As a Gold Star dad, I wanted to do something, but what do you do to deal with your loss?
Johnson's son David, a base commander in Kandahar province, was killed in Afghanistan in 2012 by an IED.
When the helicopter landed at the air base, he was gone.
Johnson was perfectly positioned to find photos being a newspaper publisher at the time. He reached out to media outlets across his state of Wisconsin, even college journalism students, for help. In only a year, they completed the Wall of Faces for Wisconsin. In total, Johnson estimates he spent another few years helping track down thousands of additional pictures.
All those thousands and thousands of names, but they're not just names. These are real people, and each of them has a story.
And then the news no one expected. Earlier this week, the final photo was found. Frankie Lee Smiley from Florida, the last picture to complete the Wall of Faces.
It was awesome. I'm glad we could honor them, and I'm glad there was one picture for each of them, and there should be. And I'm glad that that was done.
So the next time you go to the wall, know that there's now a picture and a story for each name you pass.
Something that's very important is to make sure we preserve that legacy and those stories. And now we can preserve the photos as well.
Yep, never forget. Well, another half hour of news and weather is just ahead. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14, a beloved therapy dog takes one final surf as health issues force her to hang up her board.
And Florida charges an Instagram influencer with second-degree murder in the deadly stabbing of her boyfriend. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:31. Let's take a look at today's top stories. We've got breaking news this morning as fire crews respond to an early morning house fire in Neosho. It happened about 5:15. The Neosho Police and Newton County Ambulance responded to a house fire at 712 West Spring Street in Neosho. Authorities say no residents were injured and everyone got out safely. You can read more about this story on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Again, this is a breaking story happening just this morning. Water Days at Wildcat Glades happened over the weekend, and many events, including a cardboard boat race. The event allowed people to recreate, plan, and design their own life-size cardboard boats. The boats must be made of cardboard, duct tape, and polyurethane. And the top 3 finishers of the contest win a prize.
We have been doing Water Festival for many years. I think we're on our 12th or 13th Water Festival now, and this is always a fun event. It's great because it's a free opportunity for people to come out, enjoy some time, and then be able to have additional things like this, and then the cardboard boat races that are going to be happening here shortly as well. That's just the adult version of this, and it's a hot mess. It's so much fun.
All the boats were man-powered, of course. Well, the McDonald County Community Backpack Adventure begins as businesses around the county gather together to make sure all students have what they needed for the new school year. KOAM's Shagun Bomadelli has more on the story.
As the new school year kicks off, multiple businesses of the McDonald County have gathered around to make sure students have all they need for the next school year by donating funds for 400 school bags and lots of other writing materials.
Fundraising results for the school backpack program, where we raise money to purchase backpack supplies for area kids that are needing school supplies to attend school this year.
School district official Leslie Kaziski says the economy has made school supply shopping challenging for some parents.
McDonald County is a Title I school, which means that it has a high level of free and reduced lunch. So there is a poverty issue as well as just the cost of everything is so expensive. It's going to make things harder and harder to supply those necessities.
Leslie tells us how the bags and supplies will be distributed.
So each school is going to get a certain amount. I know in our school we're anticipating that probably there'll be a couple of dozen that won't come with backpacks. So those will get taken care of right off the bat. But then those supplies will be there for kids that maybe come in with a backpack but no crayons or that sort of thing.
Leslie also says she is grateful for this opportunity.
I'm just very grateful. I mean, I don't think that you can talk enough about how important it is for a kid to feel included. And when they come in and don't have supplies and don't have the things that they need, I'm glad to work with MC for Kids to help those kids have those things and feel like they're a part of our district.
In Pinesville, Shagun Bomadelli, KOAM News.
Organizers bought $8,000 worth of school supplies. An endearing creature does not mind if its stature is small, and neither do zoo visitors in California. The Oakland Zoo has welcomed a newborn southern poodoo. It's the world's smallest deer. The zoo knew something was up when its mom, named Riley, began looking heavier recently following a worn-off birth control treatment. Poodoos are native to South American rainforest in Chile and Argentina. While the father poodoo isn't paying much attention to the newborn, Riley is, though, and the unnamed baby is getting nursed while kept safe in hidden places.
Deer of the KOAM news team, I think.
And you are a deer. These remind me of the key deer that you see out like on the little islands out by Key West. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, these guys are little tiny. They're adorable. Hopefully they don't play in traffic like their larger cousins. I mean, these ones are safe. They're at the zoo.
Yeah.
Maybe they're
So
a bit
cute.
smarter, and that's why they're at the zoo. They're like, look, we're a little bit different. We're a little cooler. We're going to be somewhere where it's
I
safe.
didn't know they made birth control for deer. This is new to me.
This is news to me as well. I was not aware of that either. So, hey, you learn something new every day. And if you're not learning, you're not growing, right?
There you go.
That might be why I stopped growing a long time ago. Just stop.
Wonder what they'll
stop
name this
learning.
little guy. We can name him Chris. Look at little Chris there.
That's the perfect name for that deer, I think. So, well, real quick traffic alert for you. If you're doing some traveling, I-44 westbound to I-49 north, that ramp is closed. If you're on 49 north or 59 coming out of Diamond to go west on 44, that ramp is closed. And it is this area right here. So this ramp right here coming off of 59, and this one, if you're westbound on 44 wanting to go north to Carthage, that one is closed. There are signed detours in place, and it will be closed for approximately 30 days as they do work on the ramps. Northwest, you can see the spin around our low pressure system that's getting ready to bring us some showers and thunderstorms. Not doing so just yet though. Clear skies, sunny skies, 72 in Joplin right now with a calm wind. That wind's going to pick up later tonight too. All of us starting the day in the upper 60s to lower 70s, 68 Miami, 72 Columbus and Pittsburgh, 74 in Lamar, so not bad. It is going to heat up for everyone today too. Highs pushing back into the lower 100s. A 98 by 5 and then some isolated storm chances later this evening and isolated storm chances overnight as temperatures drop back into the 60s and that wind picks up, gusting at 20 miles an hour. Quick look at the future track. So I showed you those storms up to the northwest. First off, few isolated ones here. By tomorrow morning, they'll brush through in our northeastern counties, and after they clear out, we get a good spattering of showers and thunderstorms across the entire area, bringing us some of that much-needed rain. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 right after this. Well, this morning we're discussing time spent on social media. Now, according to one new study, the number of teenagers who say they are online, quote, almost constantly has nearly doubled in the last 7 years. That means almost half of teens between the ages of 13 and 17 say they're chronically online, and more than half of those teens say giving up social media would be, quote, challenging. So our question to you today, how much time do you spend on social media? Is it less than an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or even more? So far, 35% of you say that you spend at least 3 hours online. 16% say you spend more than 3 hours, and 31% of you say you spend less than an hour online. You can vote, KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. Do so in the app. Take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Well, it's the final Surf's Up for a Southern California therapy dog. For 13 years, Ricochet the surf dog has done just that. She's assisted special needs children and wounded veterans with surfing. Now, the Golden Retriever is hanging up her board after suffering some health challenges. Heather Hope takes us on Ricochet's final ride.
Way of her saying goodbye to the ocean in a sense.
Paddling out to catch some waves at La Jolla shores, Ricochet, the surf dog, is living up to her name.
Okay, here we go.
Riding the wave with her is Purple Heart recipient Jose Martinez, who lost both his legs and one arm after stepping on a bomb in Afghanistan. Ricochet helped Jose recover by getting him in the water.
It's really fun out today.
The therapy dog has a rich history of helping humans in need. CBS 8 caught her very first assisted surf in 2009 when she counterbalanced the board for a 14-year-old boy with a spinal cord injury.
Being the first dog that ever surfed with somebody that was disabled, to assist them is pretty much her legacy.
Now, as the surf dog gets up there in age, she's slowing down.
She's getting a lot older now, and unfortunately, she hasn't been wanting to surf a lot more like she used to.
Ricochet was recently diagnosed with kidney disease, has a mass on her liver, and arthritis in her spine.
14 and a half for a golden retriever is really good.
Not staying down for too long, Ricochet does just that. She rebounds and gets back on a board for what could be her last time surfing.
It could be her last wave, so we wanted to get it documented.
Jose stayed on the board as Ricochet rode shotgun for the final time together.
I was pretty much told that I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, and for me to be able to help out the dog that helped me kickstart my surfing career, my surfing life, it's just as if I'm filling her cup up as much as she filled mine up.
An incredible story. Now, by the way, Ricochet helped Jose Martinez achieve his #1 ranking in the International Surf Association's Prone Assist Division. Martinez has a dream to compete in the 2028 Paralympic Games in Los Angeles. We'll be right back.
In Consumer Watch this morning, workers at a Trader Joe's location in Minneapolis have voted to unionize. The store becomes the second in the company's supermarket chain of 500 to do so, following the lead of a Massachusetts store last month. The National Labor Relations Board says the Friday vote was 55-5 to unionize the Minneapolis store. Workers there will join Trader Joe's United, same independent union chosen by the Massachusetts employees. The Trader Joe's company settlement expresses concern about what it calls a new rigid legal relationship. The company says it will now begin discussions with union representatives on a collective bargaining contract. Some workers are unhappy with pay and benefits. Johnson & Johnson is planning to stop selling talc-based baby powder around the world in 2023. The company says it will update its formula so the powder is made with cornstarch instead. Johnson & Johnson has maintained its product is safe, but it has also been at the center of lawsuits for years. Thousands of women who got ovarian cancer after using the regular talcum powder have sued the company. Johnson & Johnson's talc-based baby powder has not been sold in the U.S. or Canada since 2020. Well, Americans still are not feeling great about the economy. A new survey from the University of Michigan shows the nation's collective outlook actually rose a bit this month, registered at 55.1, up from 51.5 in July. When you drill down to how people feel about the current economic conditions, that number dropped from 58.1 last month to 55.5. Analysts believe much of that is a hangover effect from high gas prices. Even though prices at the pump have been coming down in recent weeks, constantly reminding us of high gas prices has left many people feeling squeezed. Almost half of all Americans say inflation has eroded their living standards. And the economic uncertainty seems to be affecting dogs and cats too. Animal shelters across the country are blaming inflation and rising rent for an increase in owners surrendering their pets. In response, Jacksonville, Florida shelters are temporarily requiring appointments for people giving up their dogs and cats. Follows a recent recommendation by the National Animal Care and Control Association. Also this year, more than 1,300 former pets were surrendered at the Jacksonville Humane Society. Many animal welfare groups do provide free pet food to families in need. You can check with your local animal shelter or Humane Society office to see what assistance is available in your area. We'll be right back with more after this, but first, let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. An Instagram model is being charged for the deadly stabbing of her boyfriend in Florida. On Thursday, the state attorney for Miami-Dade County speaks out about the alleged combative relationship between the couple leading up to his death. Meredith Wood has the latest.
26-year-old social media personality and influencer Courtney Clenny is behind bars in Hawaii, charged with second-degree murder. Police say she stabbed her boyfriend Christian Obumseli on April 3rd inside their luxury apartment in Miami.
Evidence gathered during the investigation of Christian's death showed that since November of 2020, he and the defendant, Clenny, had been involved in an extremely tempestuous and combative relationship.
Police released this disturbing video from February, months before Ombuseli's death, showing Clenny and her boyfriend appearing to fight in an elevator. Clenny's defense attorney says this video does not show what prompted the fight. While he says the pair had a tumultuous relationship, the defense attorney is confident Clenny will, quote, be exonerated and Courtney will be seen for what she is, a victim of domestic abuse that survived her abuser. Miami police dispute that claim.
So, yes, there's no physical evidence that led us to believe that she was actually physically harmed in any way the day of the incident.
Thursday, the Miami State Attorney showed a timeline of Clenny's telephone calls, from a call she made to Ombuseli that afternoon until she called 911.
On that 9/11 call, Christian can be heard in the background repeatedly saying that he was dying and he was losing feeling in his arm.
Clenny is being held in the East Hawaii Detention Center. I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
We got a traffic alert to tell you about this morning as we head into our Monday morning. The I-44 westbound to I-49 north, that ramp is closed. If you're coming up 59 from Diamond, wanting to go I-49 north to I-44 west, that ramp is also closed. It's for extension and widening, and it's going to last about 30 days. So we're talking, this is coming out of Springfield, heading toward Carthage, this ramp. And then this one, if you're coming out of Diamond and wanting to go west toward Joplin, that ramp also closed for the next 30 days. As we look at the wider picture, we've got a low pressure system up here over Nebraska and South Dakota, bringing a lot of rain, showers, and thunderstorms up there, and it will eventually make its way down here. Right now, though, we're starting out with very clear skies, an absolutely gorgeous start to a Monday. 72 in Joplin right now with a calm breeze, and that breeze is going to pick up later. All of us starting in the upper 60s to lower 70s. We got 68 Miami, 72 Columbus, 74 Lamar, and 69 down in Anderson. Now, as we go through the day, it's going to heat up. The hot conditions will stick around, but we'll have some increasing clouds with some isolated storm chances later. Afternoon highs pushing lower 100s, 98 by 5, 88 by 8 with that light east breeze. And that light east breeze gets a little gusty tonight, gusting up to about 20. We've got some isolated storm chances through the evening, most of us staying dry. Temperatures dropping back into the upper 60s to start tomorrow. Now, on the future track, you'll see at its first stop some of those isolated showers and thunderstorms, and then they kind of clear out, and they're mostly on the Missouri side as the day progresses. And then as we head into tomorrow, we've got that batch up to the northwest that'll clip our northeastern counties, and then by tomorrow afternoon or evening, however you want to describe 5 o'clock, more widespread showers and thunderstorms, which is something we all need. And a look at the 7-day forecast, it'll start out hot tomorrow, but it'll get nice under the rain. Maybe some morning rain on Wednesday to clear out, and then it's nice on Thursday, hot again Friday, and then more storm chances as we head into the weekend with overnight lows looking absolutely beautiful for August. More of the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 coming up.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. House and Senate Intelligence Committee members are seeking more information from the Director of National Intelligence about the FBI's search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. As they executed a search warrant last week, agents retrieved close to 24 boxes and binders of material containing 11 sets of classified documents, some marked top secret. Amid growing threats, CBS News has learned a joint FBI Homeland Security memo warns of the potential for domestic violence extremists to carry out attacks on all levels of law enforcement. Bulletin says the threats are occurring mainly online. And Salman Rushdie's agent said Sunday the writer was removed from a ventilator and could talk and walk. On Friday, a man stabbed Rushdie in the neck and stomach as he was about to give a lecture in Western New York. The 24-year-old suspect was held without bail. His mother told reporters he became radicalized after a trip to the Middle East 4 years ago.
See highs reaching into the lower 100s again today. Temperatures 98 by 5 with some isolated storms this evening. As we go through, the clouds will build in. We'll see more isolated storm chances through the night. Temperatures dropping into the upper 60s with a gusty east breeze at about 20. And a quick look at the future track. A storm system off to our northwest will bring us, first off, we've got some isolated pop-up storms, as you can see. And it'll bring us some showers and thunderstorms to our northeastern counties as we head into tomorrow. tomorrow. And then by tomorrow evening, about 5 o'clock, all of us start to get in on some kind of shower and thunderstorm activity. And that'll help with temperatures too, as they only reach in the upper 80s as we head into Friday. And then take a look as we go into, look at that, upper 80s Wednesday, Thursday. And then it warms back up, and then we have additional rain chances building in by the weekend.
Well, stargazers in Bosnia had the opportunity to take in a spectacular sight Friday night, the Perseid meteor shower. Now, time-lapse video shows glowing streaks shooting across the night sky. Meteor shower is visible with the naked eye from anywhere in the world. That is, if you had clear cloud cover. But some stargazing photographers say it's especially dramatic to view the celestial event from the mountainside.
Now, meteor showers are made up of clouds of debris from comets. They're named after the point in the sky from which they appear to originate. The Perseids get their name from the constellation Perseus, and that's how they came to be. And it's always the most visible show as well. And thank you so much now for letting us put the good in your morning. We're back at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.